Hello, my name is Summer. Thank you so much for joining me for another summer session. We're about to get into today's energy, so stick around. We're about to see what's going on. So today I have Spider and Peacock as my signs. The other day I was sitting at a table drinking a cocktail, having a nice time outside, and a spider just flew directly onto my hand. And I was like, whoa. That is so crazy. Like, out of everywhere that this spider could have landed outside, it landed on my hand. And I was like, that's got to be a sign for something. And so I looked up what spider symbolism was, and they symbolize creativity, patience, and fate, often representing the weaving of one own's destiny. One landed directly on my thumb, showing me that we hold our fate in our own hands. My second sign was Peacock, which I find interesting to go with that message. Peacock symbolizes beauty, immortality, divinity, renewal, and uniqueness, and not afraid to show it off either. So embracing that unique fate that we all have for ourselves, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, okay. This is my message about putting people in boxes. I see. Okay, so I've been wanting to talk about this. I don't know why. I think it's just been something that's been showing up for me a lot lately, and how we can all put ourselves in boxes, and how I've always really tried to go against that. I really hate labels. I hate people putting I wasn't always that way. And I'm not going to say hate because that's so strong. I think that labels are necessary for certain things, but I think that we can all be very limited by them. And I think that even if you have made it your point to say, I have no label, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not anything, you can get into like a new job or career or whatever and adapt a box that you don't even recognize as a box. How do I explain this? I was an artist before this. I still am an artist. I just don't have studio space because I'm a sculptor and I can't sculpt without a studio space. So I had to kind of accept the fact that that's not working out for me right now, that path. So I have to embrace my other passions and talents and what I care about other than art. And that was a real identity crisis for me. Although I had only been, doing art for a few years, I had really latched onto it because it had done so much for me. Letting it go was really hard. And a lot of people, I think, are uncomfortable that I'm doing tarot now. And not that I'm doing tarot full time. I manage a business with my partner, so that's a whole other thing. But a lot of people are really uncomfortable with the fact that I'm doing this now. And that's because they have themselves in boxes and can't imagine being outside of that art box. What I found interesting was that artists even put themselves in this box. Like, I'm an artist, I'm nothing, I don't want to be anything else. If I'm a business owner, or not a business owner, but if I market myself as a tarot reader now, how are other people going to see me as an artist? Well, I don't care. It's like, I don't care what other people are going to put like me in. I don't care what box they want to put me in, as long as I know I'm not putting myself in a box. I'm not going to be bogged down to being an artist because other people expect art from me now. Because I've told them, hey, I'm an artist now. Oh, now I have to abide by that because everybody else thinks I am. And I'm only talking about my experiences because that's all I really have to go off of. But that's been a strong message. So whoever needs to hear this, get out of the box. Stop putting yourself in this. And it's so funny. I have I don't know if you can see it, all these boxes on my mat in front of me. So it's just really interesting. But it's like, you can jump from box to box. That's how you play chess. That's how you play checkers. You embody these different spaces, right? And people get really uncomfortable when you want to change what space you're embodying, what energy you're embodying, what side of yourself. If they've never seen it, they're like, whoa, what is this? Like, did you see so-and-so? They're wearing purple now. They never wore purple before. All of a sudden they want to wear purple. What's up with them? They get so hurt by people doing different things. And it's crazy because that's how you get to your highest timeline. When you start switching up and everybody else is like, whoa, what the fuck is she doing? That's how you do it. So I know this is not coming up for no reason. I know that I need to talk about this, but I just want to warn anyone out there. If you're doing if you're doing things for other people, you might be limiting yourself. You might be holding yourself back and blaming other people for it. Nobody told you you had to listen to them. even if they said, you have to listen to me, you still have that authority within yourself to be like, I know this is bad for me, so I'm not going to do it. I don't care if you need me to do it or you want me to do it. It's not about you. I'm living for me. Live for You by The Sacred Souls. That song on repeat, Let's go. All right, so I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I just feel guided to. You take a sip of your drink. Have a good day. Listen to this outside. Go outside. Go on a walk. Listen to me rant in your ear. Yo, if people listen to me, I don't know if I could listen to myself. All right, anyways. I could. Let me chill. Let's get into this energy. We're talking about spiders and peacocks. So we're talking about being very devoted to your own unique path, even if other people might be uncomfortable by it. That's today's theme. So wow, look who came out. The Emperor to start with. That is exactly that energy. That is not being afraid to make actions that make other people uncomfortable because ooh, look at purple. Oh my God, they're wearing purple. This is crazy. The Emperor is wearing purple, and I just used wearing purple as an analogy. Wow. And even when I was saying it, I was like, really? You're talking about the way somebody dresses as like as a example? But that's what happens when you flow. You find unexpected shit that makes it make sense. You're like, whoa, I thought that was stupid. It wasn't stupid. It was onto something, right? So this is what I'm talking about. We're starting with the Emperor today. And that means that you are stepping into your own intellectual authority and trusting your actions every step of the way. And that boils down to Aries energy, right? Making these actions, these really strategic decisions for you to get to where you know you're meant to go. You have a vision in here that other people can't see. You can explain it to people, but they don't get it. You got to walk the path yourself. Wow, you're getting motivated. Yeah, this always reminds me of Aries because of all this red. Yeah, this is really getting going, and the motivation factor of this card, right? So this is getting motivated, getting going, and moving towards something. And knowing damn well that you deserve everything that you desire in this life. We all do. We all deserve everything we desire. No matter what we've done or who we've been, we deserve it. Well, you gotta heal first. Don't do no fucked up shit. As long as you're not harming people, right? If your desire is to harm people, that's a whole other fucking thing. Don't do that. That's a whole other topic. I'm talking about if your desires are like ice cream before you go to bed or something. You know, it's like, fucking eat the ice cream. Like people are like, oh, I can't eat ice cream because it's bad for me and I'm gonna die of diabetes. It's like, what if you die because Never mind. Okay. Let me stay on track. Ooh, we are getting out of the devilish shadow tendency of holding on, of attachment, of not letting shit go, of letting things fester and keep us bound. We are letting that go because we know we're going into this energy and leaving this energy. That is what we like to see, because this is an energy of lack. If you're embracing everything that you are and everything that you know to be true, and I'm sorry, I've been attacked by pollen this week, so ignore my allergies, but if you've been holding on to too much and you've been like really living in lack mindset, this is where you end up. This is where you go. If you're living like this, you stay full of growth. You have an abundance of opportunities and no obstacle can fuck with you. No obstacle can hold you back. All right, so let's see. What energy do we need to be in moving forward? Just confidence. I don't even need to pull a card. I heard confidence. There's a need to be confident in yourself right now and understanding that we all are the same. That supermodel has just as many negative things in their life as they do positive. We all experience duality. Just because someone's life looks perfect on the outside does not mean it is deep down. In fact, it's probably real bad deep down. So there's a need to let go of all of this anger, resentment, holding in. Anything that you're holding on to that you know is bad for you. No, I want this side. Call. All right, so I'm going to pull these cards and then we're going to read it out of the booklet. Page of Earth, Four of Earth. Isn't that this card? Oh, shit, that's crazy. Okay, so we're going to see the positive spin. That's exciting. Okay. So that's extra confirmation that that card came out twice. And that's interesting because that's the card that I focus on the most. All right, so I honestly don't... Well, that's interesting because this came out for the other reading too. Okay. Call. Let's read that one. Purpose and true prosperity. I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. That sentence alone is exactly what this card embodies. I have everything I need. There's a need to not think, oh, I need this to be successful. I need this to be this. I need that to be this. Embody it right now. You don't need nothing. If there's anything that you need, you'll attract it in and it'll get to you. But only if you have this open understanding that divine timing is a real thing. And it's interesting because divinity is one of the peacock signs. So divine timing, patience is one for the spider. So patience is needed right now, and understanding that if you feel as though you are lacking, there's a reason for that. It's trusting that, oh, this thing isn't in my hands because I have to be patient for it for a reason. There might be something else that is meant to come your way. There is a million things that you could say of why that thing isn't in your lap right now, but it's kind of like when your parents are like, and I used to hate this as a kid because I told you so. I hated that, but if they could have explained it as, and by they I mean my mom, if she could have, like, that alone used to drive me crazy. Like saying, do this because I told you so. No, you got to give me a reason. You have to break it down to me. But I think that it has been a huge lesson for me to not need to know the reason. There's a whole plethora of reasons that the universe is not allowed to tell me. Not because they don't want to, but just because that's just the nature of this earth, is we're not meant to understand every tiny little bit, because that's the whole point of being here, is to not understand, but still trust. That is something I had to learn the hard way. And I really feel like with this card, where'd it go? With call, that is a huge thing that they're talking about. Being okay with not having exactly what you might think you need, and being patient until it comes in, right? Man, I'm really all over the place this week. Y'all are going to have to forgive me. This sickness is really kicking my ass. And I haven't done tarot in weeks, so I'm just all over the place. So stay tuned for the next couple weeks. I'll probably be a lot better. All right. I'm being called into a deeper, more authentic relationship with myself, with my higher power, and with others. I am here for a reason. I'm required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions. I need to trust that my life has a purpose, that I am enough, and that within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. A divine blueprint. That has been a huge, huge sign for me actually recently, now that I've been thinking about it, is blueprint. You're the blueprint. Blueprint. So that's really saying, like, although I always struggled with, like, how is destiny and free will together in the same place? But but recently I heard, I don't know if somebody else said this or I said it. I think I came up with this actually. It was that you're not meant to, the lessons we learn are not, there's movement. Hold on. The lessons we learn are destined, but how we learn them is free will. So it's a tandem. It's a dance between both free will and destiny. And it's like, okay, they're kind of like reacting to each other in a way. You know, it's a really interesting perspective, but Yeah, that's how I see it. And I see everything as a divine blueprint because they dance together. You know what I mean? Everything is divinely led because of this. But yeah, so that's what I was getting for call. Page of Earth. I didn't even explain that at all. I paused it because I thought somebody knocked on my door and nobody did. Maybe opportunities are knocking for you. That's for somebody. Okay, Page of Earth. Commitment to prosperity. The first signs of tangible success. Undeniable evidence that hard work will pay off. Dreams grounded in reality. Start of a new project. Everything starts with a plan, and I'm beginning to see the results generate prosperity. I'm a doer, and I get to make my own decisions. I have the ability to attract what I need. What did I say? Attract what I need. I have the ability to attract what I need. I'm not playing with you. Stop with the lack mindset. You see all these? I can't hold them all. Whatever. I have the ability to attract what I need. We all do. If it comes from a pure place. If you ain't getting what you need, and maybe there's something in the lack that you're meant to pay attention to. All right, Four of Earth. Maybe I'm so like worked up and ranting so much because I have not left the house in some days. That really might be it. Okay. Four of Earth, which is this card, remember? Ownership, the beauty of divine order, trusting in a solid foundation. Okay, so this is the traditional tarot explanation, the one I told you about holding on, having lack mindset, not letting go. This is the good tarot version, this version. So there is many different ways to see a card. It's all unique to the tarot reader. I think people really need to get that in their heads. It's not, it has to be this way. If you're thinking that way, you probably should not be in tarot. All right. I'm not going to say that. That's kind of messed up. Be in tarot, but you got more to learn. Okay. Even if I feel shaken up and I'm unable to understand why things happen as they do, I know for certain that divine order manifests in all aspects of my life. What I have built rests on a solid foundation, so there is no need to fear. While it was true that nothing is permanent in the material world, I find security in the existence of a divine plan. I know exactly where I am meant to be for my highest good and the highest good of all, and that I always have abundance available to me. Always have abundance available to me. And did you notice that trusting in the solidification of a plan? Did you hear that? Do you see what I'm freaking saying? There's a need to trust your path right now because it's not going to look normal. It's going to look weird. Everything's going to be up and down and chaotic and all around. So you're seeing this message because I'm here to tell you it's going to be okay. And that everything gets crazy before it gets calm. That is just the nature of this place. So why are you freaking out every time it gets crazy when you know damn well it's gonna clean itself up? It's gonna be fine. But no, we gotta trip. We gotta freak the fuck out. And yeah, that's part of the process sometimes, but maybe we don't. Not everybody needs that in their process. I don't want to freak out. I just want to be chilling and be like, all right, cool. Sun, abundance. At this time, everything is possible and everything I need to know is illuminated. Projects come to fruition, relationships flourish, and my growth is assured. This is a time of plenty. It's important that I share this abundance with others. I am deeply grateful. Man, what did I tell you? You should be grateful. Be grateful for the chaos. If you can be grateful for the chaos, you are going to experience that reward, or not the reward, but that organization. It's going to be so satisfying. You know how like watching things get put together is satisfying? Imagine your life doing that. Like imagine like that satisfying feeling of seeing someone like organize something perfectly and then that happens in your life. Wouldn't that be nice? But if you're chaotic, you're going to project that into your situation. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this instead of, you don't want this. Unless that's your jam. Maybe that's your jam. But I think it's really just saying it. Life can be exactly what you want it right now. Even if you don't have $1 million, or even if you don't have a car, even if you don't, everything is good right now. You're exactly where you need to be because your soul needs to learn a specific lesson in where you're at. So stop wishing that you're out of it and just chill. just float through the journey like a lazy river. That's what it's meant to be experienced as. Not, everything is crazy, everything's on fire. That's not what it's meant to be experienced. I mean, it can get like that if that's the only way you're going to learn. But if you can learn by floating down the lazy river and just being like, oh, all I need to do is do this. Oh, all I need to do is see it this way. Okay. Instead of, I need to see it this way. You know, there's a huge difference. How you experience this life is up to you. That's all I gotta say. And I'm not saying that you can't experience the hardships and feel pain, right? Like, losing people is painful. Rejection is painful. Everything is painful. But how do you experience that pain? It's like, yeah, you can feel it. You gotta cry. You gotta get it all out. But are you gonna appreciate it at the end? You know, are you gonna appreciate it as you're going through it? Like, dang, I'm grateful to feel, you know, I'm grateful to be crying about this. It's like, I don't know. How are you viewing it? And I'm saying that looking back on my life, like, dang, I hope I'm viewing all my stuff. I'm like talking up a big game out here. I hope I'm following my own advice here. But I think that's all I got for you guys. That was a crazy one. I don't know. I feel like this week I'm going to have crazy readings because I'm trying something new. And so if you guys can just be patient with me and just roll with it. It's weird. I'm trying not to like judge myself too harshly. And if I'm ranting, I'm ranting. Whatever. I'm stir crazy right now. I haven't left the house since I got sick, which was like 4 days ago. Yeah, I think I'm losing my mind. But I don't care. You guys can lose your minds with me. Whatever. All right. Have a great week. If you're interested in a private reading or joining my Patreon, check the description box below. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment if this resonated with you. And yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.